Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling start to Tune-Up Tuesday. It is a phenomenal day today. We have got high winds coming in this afternoon. Clear this air out. Yes. They do have high wind warnings for us this afternoon, but, you know, right now it is a beautiful sunny day, somewhere in the high 50s, low 60s outside. So it is a gorgeous start to an incredible Tune-Up Tuesday. So what changes are you making this week? That's what Tune-Up Tuesday is all about. It's making those tweaks and changes, major overhauls to minor adjustments, and everything in between. So what changes are you looking to make this week? I've been making last-minute adjustments to my schedule for this week. So it has been an awesome week so far. Great start to the week. And yesterday was the final. I have to give a huge shout out to everyone who contributed to the my annual birthday Fight Colorectal Cancer in memory of Brad. It ended yesterday, and we managed to raise $373. Yay! It's $373 more than what they had before we started. So that's awesome. So thank you to everyone who participated. I truly appreciate you taking time out and making a contribution to such an incredible organization. So thank you for that. So yeah, we're not going to stay on long. I actually still have to have breakfast. For some reason in the mornings, I've been having these not lazy starts, but these very different starts to the day that I don't even allow myself time for breakfast. And then I get on my morning training call at 9 a.m. my time. And by the time I finish that and get stuff done immediately after that, it's like 10 o'clock. And it's like, I haven't had breakfast yet. So I'm going to go have some breakfast now. What am I going to do for breakfast? I don't know. I've got kiwi fruit. I've got red and gold kiwi fruit that I can go and partake of. And I love those because I just rinse them under the tap, chop the ends off them, and then just eat them, the whole thing, skin and all. But with the red kiwi fruit and the golden kiwi fruit, there is no fur, because I know people see the green kiwi fruit and think it's tart, and then there's that fur on the outside of the skin, while red and gold are both smooth-skinned. They are yummy. The yellow one is it's sweeter than the green, and it's the first one that came out, the gold. And then they just put out the red, which is meant to be tropical flavor. But I don't know if it actually is tropical flavor, but it tastes really good. And if you check my profile, I posted a link to a YouTube video. There was a series of videos that came out a couple of years ago that was done by a New Zealand comedian. And I can't think of his name off the top of my head. And he did these awesome things like, you know, the differences between New Zealand and the US, New Zealand and Australia. I just saw one that popped up this morning that's New Zealand and Canada. But then he also went through, the one I watched yesterday was about food in New Zealand. It was about, you know, good old-fashioned Kiwi taka. Although he doesn't use that phrase in there. But yeah, it was talking about the different foods that we have in New Zealand. And it was hilarious, but man, it gave me a craving for pineapple lumps and what is spaghetti. And what is canned spaghetti is a thing in New Zealand, and it's just really good. Tomato sauce. What else was it? Oh, fish and chips. Gotta have my fish and chips. The hokey pokey ice cream, pavlova. Yeah, definitely can't cook a pavlova in the air fryer because it's got to be a very low heat. In fact, the way to cook a perfect pavlova is once you've done all the mixing and the stiffening of the egg whites and all of that, and you put it on the baking tray to go into the oven, you start the oven off at a certain heat. You heat the oven up, and then depending on which recipe you're following, most recipes you put the pavlova in the oven and you actually turn the oven off and leave it alone. Just leave it in there, and the heat will actually cook it. But the one that I use, you turn it down to 130 degrees Celsius, I think it is. It's a very, very low heat, and you let it cook for an hour. Then you turn the oven off, and you do not open the oven at all. You have to let it cool in the oven overnight. And I know that sounds a little weird, but you know, secrets to making a perfect pav. But yeah, so this video had all these New Zealand foods in it, and I was like, oh, so good. but yeah, the way that this guy delivers it was exceptional. So loved it. But anyway, so what changes are you making this week? I've already had changes in my schedule. Some are last minute, some are not so last minute, but it's all worth it because it's going to improve everything that's following. So I'm just looking at my list for what I have to do this week, and there's a couple of major changes I have to do this week, but you'll learn more about those tomorrow. You'll have to stay tuned for tomorrow, and I'll reveal all tomorrow. But anyway, I'm out of here. I got to get moving. Oh, what is one of your favorite holiday memories? So I forgot to change the banner again. It's one of your favorite holiday/vacation memories. Yesterday I talked about our time in Prague and our river cruise and the time in Budapest afterwards. Other favorite memories are, the very first time we went on Carnival, we just did a 3-day cruise in and out of Long Beach there down to Ensenada and back again. That was actually quite fun. We'd heard all these different rumors about Carnival and never tried it. And my husband wasn't too keen to try Carnival. And I said, look, they're giving travel professionals a free cruise. You get to choose. And so we said, we're going to have to try it at some point. So rather than doing a 7-night cruise, we thought, well, let's just hop on the 3-night cruise that leaves on a Friday, comes back on Monday, and we're done. And 3 nights. And so he says, oh, okay. But he says, that's one they call the booze cruise. And I says, yeah, but we still have to experience Carnival at some point. And it's just a quick cruise. Because the ship tours were done at the time. He wasn't that overly impressed with Carnival on the ship tours. And I says, look, we've got to try it. We sell it. We have to go try it so we can give our firsthand experience. And he's like, okay. So we ended up hopping on a Friday night cruise. And it was really cool. We could just wheel our bags on. We just had small carry-on bags type things. We just wheeled them on with us. Straight into our cabin, left the bags there. Then we went wandering around and doing our exploration of the ship. The Carnival, when they do the short cruises, the 3 and 4 night cruises, they have it down because that one ship does a 3-night cruise followed by a 4-night cruise, a 3-night cruise followed by a 4-night cruise. And it's just that same rotation over and over and over again. And, we were getting on at like 11 o'clock in the morning. We managed to get on the ship. Because as soon as the ship's cleared, they basically start boarding and get clearing to board. And so we got on it was like 11:30. We were able to go straight to our cabin. Cabins were already cleaned out. And so we got in there, we unpacked, we got everything settled in, and then we went on our journey around the ship, exploring all the ins and outs, found out where to have lunch, and had lunch, and the food was pretty good. They had some great chocolate desserts. We also purchased the soda packages. So we had our little cups that we could go around with for our soda packages and that sort of thing. And it worked out well because I was able to get juices on there, cranberry juice, and I'd have cranberry juice every night at dinner. And then had soda. And I'm not a big soda drinker, but I had enough that it justified the cost of the soda package. I thought I'm on vacation. And we did not get off the ship in Ensenada. We just stayed on board the ship and we hung out by the pool area and just had a really good. And then we ended up down at one of the bars in the atrium, the bar at the bottom of the atrium, because our room was actually just off down the hall from the atrium. And we decided to get a drink on our way back to the cabin because we're going to go take a nap. And we ended up sitting there talking for 3 hours to the people that were sitting there at the bar. And one woman was slightly drunk, and we had a blast talking with her, and she was telling us about how she chose names for her children. And one of them was one of her sons is named after an ex-boyfriend. So it's amazing what things people will tell you when you're on a cruise ship and they're a little sloshed. But we had an enjoyable weekend. It was a great weekend. It was away. And we've been on Carnival several times since then. I've taken group cruises on Carnival. I've escorted group cruises onto Carnival ships. And I've actually done 2. Yeah, I've now done 2 7-night cruises with them as well. And one of them I got to do on one of their new ships, which was the sister ship for the, it was on Carnival Horizon. And it happened to be a birthday cruise. I was on there for my birthday. And this was it was the second cruise I had done after Brad passed. The first cruise was really hard because it was the first time there and I knew nobody on the ship. The second time I went, there was a bunch of travel professionals on there who I knew. And I got to, and some of the Carnival business development managers that I have worked with as well were also on board. So I knew people on the ship, and they made it special for me for my birthday. So that was kind of cool. But you had a great 7-night cruise on that one. That was awesome. Actually, no, that one was only a 5-night cruise or a 6-night cruise. It wasn't a 7-night cruise, that one. But that was on the ship that was going to be the sister ship to, that's the sister ship to the Carnival Panorama, which is based out of Long Beach. And that's a ship that was brand new, straight from the shipyard, directly to Long Beach, and is doing like 7-night cruises. I think they're also doing 14-night to Hawaii or something. And it was before the global pause happened. What's happened since then? I don't know. I kind of out of that a little bit. So we actually enjoyed the Carnival experience, but the one that I did on the Horizon was probably one of the best Carnival experiences I'd done. They had this trio of violinists who were amazing, incredible. The shows in the evenings were amazing. The food was really, really good. I had such a blast on that cruise, and I found my little reading place. And that's one of the reasons that I would always recommend for clients to go and as soon as you get on the ship, before you can get into your cabins, is go up to the buffet area, have your lunch, then go explore, because by the time you get up there and have your lunch, it's almost time for them to open the doors to the cabin. So then you can go put your carry-on in there. If not, go up to the top deck and just walk your way down, skip all the through all the public spaces and all of that, so you can find out where everything is. And it's during that time that I find my reading area. And there was only one day on the entire cruise ship on the Horizon that I did not get to use my reading area, because we were in port that day and I was not planning on going. I wasn't planning on going ashore. And but when I went down, that was the gathering area, and it was outside, and it was the gathering area for all the people who were disembarking that day. And so that was the only time I couldn't use that. But most of the time when I was out there in the little reading area, I was almost the only person on that side of the ship, outside in these really comfy chairs. And I only got kicked out of them once when the crew were coming through and cleaning, and their idea of cleaning was hosing everything down. So that was the only time that I got kicked out of my reading area. But I'd go sit there. I'd have my pen and paper with me so I could write. I had my Kindle with me so I could read. And these chairs were big enough and comfy enough that you could like snuggle down into them a little bit, and I'd have a little bit of a snooze there. But whenever I was out there, most of the time I was the only person in that whole seating area that they had. So it was kind of cool. It was almost like a little private place to yourself. And the ship was fairly full. And and occasionally people would walk through there, or they'll go sit further down in that area. But it was a great spot on that ship. But I kind of miss cruising. I do miss cruising, because you can make of it what you want. You can go to any of the entertainments if you want to, any of the activities that they have on board. You can go ashore if you want to. It's completely up to you. It's your vacation. So, but anyway, I'm out of here. I got stuff I got to go do. I got to go have some breakfast. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling tune-up Tuesday, and we'll catch you guys back here this evening around 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Heck on it. Depends on how long my dog wants to walk. Heck on it.